Eliminate all the safety and confusion issues that Dassault and Airbus have.
So there's no linkage coming across?
No, it's all done electronically.
Okay.
And
so those replace the MCDUs? So
you know Primus Epic, MCDUs, ACPs, and the display controllers, all that functionality is in ACP. Each. ACP is audio control panel.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so all that's gone. Now
this is all touchscreen?
It's all four of these are touchscreen, these are touchscreens, and these are touchscreens. The DUs we kept because they're too far away, they're too big. There's no, we explicitly did not make those touchscreens. We did research that told us that it was, if I can't grab, see how these are all up on a plinth? That's on purpose, so you can grab your fingers behind it and use the touchscreen. So go ahead and play with it, the finger grip, like finger behind it, and create a little tension so that it works like a handheld device.
Yeah, I see.
It's like stability.
Yes.
That's
and we also
friendly.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time thinking about that stuff.
That's a good idea.
Also, we used resistive touch technology because we can manufacture it to require a minimum force, which is 3 ounces. So do a very light touch, and you'll see that nothing happens. No, that's very light. You see how nothing happens? And, and then also do a real quick pick, and you'll see nothing happens. Well, it's 1/8 of a second.
Okay.
So the idea
it's the perfect touch.
Yeah, you don't have to. Well, and at flight safety, they're going to have these real devices with some exercises on it, so you can get a feel for it before you actually go out to the sim. But we did all that stuff intentionally. See how you're kind of picking on it?
I have a question.
Go a little more deliberate, and you'll see it's easier. And we also have a swipe function. So we have shortcuts. There's, you'll see it's easier. And we also have a swipe function. So we have shortcuts. There's your phase menu. So we have 5 menus that are tailored to start, taxi, takeoff, en route, arrival.
When you move your cursor, though, does it go like that, or can you go between screens by just doing this?
Yeah. No, you have to hold it and move it across.
Slowly like that?
But it will go across.
It will go across.
Okay, so you don't have to go...
No. These are just fixed images because it's just a mock-up. Yeah. So the touchscreens are real hardware, all 10 of them, but they're not really talking to anything right now. Obviously, in a real avionics suite, they're all together.
You can also get the cursor to go from 1, 2 to 3 by pushing those buttons.
That is correct.
So you can do both.
Like on the 650,
yeah. So, and this is just a palm rest for the touch screen. We tried to think of everything.
That's an electric parking brake, huh?
No, it is not.
Oh no?
That is no more complicated than your bicycle.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's purely mechanical.
Just lift up. Okay.
And also, it's not in here because there's not a real parking brake under there. You get up here, and there's kind of a soft detent where it gets harder to pull, and that corresponds to about 600 psi of parking brake pressure, which is as a mechanical backup. If you lose all brakes, you go right to the soft detent, and it'll stop the airplane without locking up the tires, and then you go here for normal parking brake. Yaw trim. We do not do the like Dassault has what we call neutral speed stability, where there's no pitch trim. Leave that in because we think it's an important cue to pilots. So you do have to, when you change speed, you have to trim the airplane.
So no auto trim.
No auto trim and pitch roll or yaw. Okay. And now we did the auto. If you're hand flying the airplane and you make a large airspeed change, you don't have to trim as you go. You can do that, but instead of the 80 videos, I've taxied around, and it's way more than you need for any turn on any taxiway. So, of course, in this example, it's already filled in, but I do FMS and hit. I go, yep, all my databases are good. I've got my clock set, FMS present position, flight plan source, manually type it in, blah, 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 or not, or data link, okay. Go, and then press. And also, if I hit DU preset for each of the 5 phases, I can program my on-site DU window management for synthetic vision or not, and then you can save that. And then when you get to the new phase, you just push that. Of course, startup's a bad example because it'll default to that at power up. When I go taxi, then hit this, it'll reconfigure for what I had programmed it to be for taxi. Same thing. So, and notice how I've got 4 new menu items, and there's 2 new down here. So what's a common thing you need to do? Call for PDC or data link for PDC, or I need to change a runway. 1 touch and I'm there. In the meantime, there's my sector, my runway, my departure procedure, and my ref speed. It's right there. There's my runway in graphical form. Auto brakes, I control it right from here.
So you do have auto brakes?
Yes.
So you are going to end up going to 0-0?
No, because that's a Cat 3. That we do not have Cat 3. We have Cat 2 only.
Okay, but this will be, I guess, the next one. But if you got auto brakes, that's one of the requirements for
Cat 3 is a lot of extra maintenance that zero customers of ours have asked.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and it's a huge expense. Plus, most of our customers try to avoid those type of airports. You know, the big international. You know, like why go to Hartsfield, Atlanta Hartsfield when you can go to Folsom County or something, which is probably closer to downtown. So you see how you run your takeoff brief here, and from the clean sheet design, what does a pilot want?
This is almost like the 7X. It's the same Honeywell, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same.
Well, I think this is better because I've seen theirs.
So
they don't have the phase, well, they don't have the phase menus that we do. I mean, all on one screen, everything I need.
We got service center things going up. We got the manufacturing.
So, I mean, and there's several more iterations. These are fairly old displays.
And those are just
all three are the same thing. So there's 8 pages in each one. They're the same 8 pages. So each of the primary systems that are listed there, I can select, automatically. But let's say, for example, I start the engine. It's run, start. That'll turn on the nav and the beacon if they're not already on. It'll turn on the right main boost pump to start, and then once the engine's running, it'll turn on the alternate. We can use graphical cues, like see the box around text. That means it's a guarded switch, which means I'm going to have to touch something twice. So I touch it, accept or cancel. Notice how I have to go somewhere else on the screen. I can't just do a double touch in the same place. That's intentional. Versus these without the box around, it's single touch on off. And notice how the touch, you get bloom. So the one remaining downside of a touchscreen is I have to look at the control to manipulate it. But by doing the bloom, we found that more than adequately replaces that click or that touch you get from a mechanical switch. Of course, we still have mechanical switches for generators, batteries, APU, our engines running, that kind of stuff. So your checklist has gotten a lot shorter because you basically initiate something, and avionics then takes that as a cue to reconfigure the rest of the airplane for your next phase of flight.
very nice.
Very nice.
I love it.
Okay.
Thank you.